Okay, next speaker, we got Justin coming on. A lot of you who are in the CSU community have probably met Justin. He's done a couple masterminds with us. He did our hype video. So I say Justin's our hype man. He gets us all fired up, ready to go. Justin, I'm bringing you on, man. Say hello to everyone. How you doing,
What's
Justin?
going on, Zach? Hello, Sisu. Happy to be here.
Thank you for hopping on. Hopefully you all watched the video. Justin, I think, give me just a sec. I'm going to try and bring this down. You can only stand for so long, but I've learned that my limit for live streaming is actually like 8 hours. So not too bad, but I can't do that all standing. Justin, you have a really unique role, and I have thought many times that I wish all of the teams, because we talk to hundreds of teams every day, they're looking at rolling out CSU. I wish that every team could have a Justin. And I wanted to dig a little more into your role and what you've learned. So maybe you could explain a little bit, your background and what it is you do for your brokerage.
Yeah, so my background has always been coaching, mentoring, and most prominently speaking. I was with Tony Robbins for the past 5 years. I was this top speaker, traveled the world, and spoke on all the things that I care most about, which is mindset, emotional state, identity, belief system. And really, Spring and I are an amazing pair, amazing partners, because she's the visionary, she's the leader, but I kind of bridge that gap from what does it take? Why do so many people get into real estate? Why do so many people join teams and they're unsuccessful, or they end up being a solo agent, or they leave the team? And we believe there was a massive gap between learning about real estate, getting lead gen, having cool leaders, and what does it actually take to be a successful real estate agent? And that's what we train on, and that's my role. And our team since then has taken off. It's doubled in numbers. It's almost tripled in production. Our profitability is through the roof. So when you say, I wish teams had someone like me, they need someone like me. But it takes someone like Spring that has the vision of what she wants to create 10 years from now to hire somebody like me and partner with someone like me, because it's not cheap by any means.
No.
It's going to be a huge portion of your profit. But Spring is seeing where she wants her business to be 10 years from now, not where she needs to be 6 months from now.
Totally. And you came into this, how long ago you came into real estate, what, maybe a year ago?
Yeah, I've had my real estate license for 19 years, but very little of my successes came from real estate. Full-time, I guess it was November of last year. But honestly, Zach, full-time as the leader of this team and the owner of the brokerage, it's been less than 3 months.
Okay. Yeah. And it's been, look, I sit next door, CSU and your brokerage share an office, right? Yeah. And man, you guys are fired up, you're killing it. You have a lot of great energy and it rubs off, and I enjoy being there for it, right? So, yeah. What is it? I've heard you say a lot of times, I think you say learning about real estate doesn't really have anything to do with your production. Maybe you could expand on that a little more.
Well, learning about real estate has nothing to do with performance. It has everything to do with your skill set and your job and servicing your clients. But it has nothing to do with the way you show up. It has nothing to do with conversion. It has nothing to do with negotiation and communication and emotional state. And if you look at every top producer in this industry, that's exactly what they have. And every agent will come to you and tell you, I want to make 100K. I need leads. That's not what they need. They need performance and they need production, because that is the only thing that's going to lead to profitability. So we are a culture of production first. We get our agents into production in the first hour. We sit them down with lists. They're developing their SOI. They're making dials. There's no learning curve here. There's no onboarding. Onboarding comes later after they're already in production. They have to get into production, because I feel like so many teams have friendly cultures. They love each other. Maybe they go out for drinks or whatever it is, which is amazing. But if that's not built on a foundation of production, you have nothing, and you're going to have high turnover, and you're always going to be having people in the front door and out the back door. We have virtually zero turnover, because at the heart of what every agent needs is leadership and production. They don't understand that that's what they're after, but it's not the split model. It's not the tech model. It's sure as hell not the lead generation model. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't even know what to do with the lead if they got it. They don't understand that a lead converts 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, 24 months later. They look at a lead as like, yes, please come and buy and sell my house. But what they actually need is the leadership model. And that's what every agent is attracted to. So that's what we've built here. The vision, the accountability, the structure. It's clarity for them to like, oh, I get it. I know where I'm going to be a week from now. I know where I'm going to be 6 months from now. I know where I'm going to be a year from now. And they could thrive in that environment. And so we provide that leadership, but everything that we do in our culture is about production, because if they start producing at a higher level, then they get the money, they get the feeling, they get the belief, they get the certainty, and that just leads to bigger and bigger visions within this industry. So I would say the two things that Spring and I are on our way to mastering, which would be a lifelong journey, but is being the leader that we need to be and making sure that everything in our culture is about production, which is why Sisu is a gift. Spring and I will look at each other on one-on-one meetings and being like, I love Sisu, because we can look up everything, vendors, commissions. We know we're going to be profitable through December, and it's October. It's the beginning of October. A leader has clarity. A leader is not somebody that shows up and hypes people up and motivates people. A leader has clarity on their vision so that those agents can buy into that vision. So I know that was a long answer, but production and leadership is what we care most about.
I love it. No, that's a great answer. So, walk me through it. I keyed in on something you're saying is you bring in an agent, brand new agent, fresh out of school or brand new to the team. And you're busting that learning curve, right? Because you don't want them sitting back thinking, hey, I got to wait 3 months till I'm actually in this business, right? You want them right away. Maybe you could walk me through a little more, why you don't have that learning curve, how you kind of break the model of traditional onboarding, right?
Well, I think every dialed in team would have something similar like Hello Week or Hell Week, whatever sits better with you. But it's a 5-day trial period where they get into our world, go to every training, every meeting. They have 3 benchmarks that they have to hit. And here's the cool part. The benchmarks are completely easy for the right agent. They're very challenging for an agent that we want to take on, meaning an agent with growth mindset instead of fixed mindset. But they're absolutely impossible for the wrong agent.
So that's how you're betting.
Yeah, these 3 things, because it's all about production. It's all about dials. It's all about numbers. It's getting your entire world set up in 5 to 6 days and doing the activities of a top producer. And the wrong person will eliminate themselves from that environment very quickly. And we usually know within about 90 minutes if they're going to make it. And I'm exaggerating. It's more like 5 minutes. And you thought I would exaggerate on the other side, but you already know. You already can see their wheels turning, and they're either developing a resourceful story of how they're going to do this no matter what, or they're already developing a story about why this isn't going to work, and they're going to blame everything about the team. Oh, well, this was off, or I didn't get the support. Well, somebody didn't come to me. It's their mind coming up with a story of why they can't do it. But what's cool about that is the people that make it through 5 days, they're our people. Then it's like hugs at the end, like, hell yeah, I know it was challenging, but you're part of us now. Let's onboard you. Let's get you trained. Let's get you part of the team. Let's teach you all the systems. It's amazing because after 5 or 6 days, it ends on Saturday night. We both have an understanding that you're part of this team, and then it's official that Monday, and then we start onboarding and training. But if they're not willing to get into production, we're not going to train them or onboard them.
Interesting. So what are some of the things that happen in those 5 days?
Very simple. And you should create your own, but ours are 200 quality real estate conversations. Oh, wow. So that's double our norm. To be on our team, you have to have 20 quality real estate conversations a day. So we double it, hence Hell Week or Hello Week. So you're going to have 200 real estate conversations. You're going to have your SOI database completely dialed in with names, phone numbers, emails, and addresses. And we all know this. Most veteran agents don't have this, but we do it in 5 days. Let's completely dial in your SOI, complete information, all of them contacted. And then they have to do 1 open house in their first week. Those 3 things. But what really eliminates people is reaching out to their SOI and having 200 conversations. Yeah. You're either going to do it or you're not.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I really like that. So talk me through, we were talking about routine a little earlier, and you guys do some cool things to create that certainty, create that routine, create those processes that allow me to perform and be in the right mindset every day, right? And this is kind of your world. So
Yeah. So what we call it is permission to perform. If you don't have permission to perform as an athlete, as an agent, as an owner, as a leader, and permission to perform is, do you have a clear vision? Are you disciplined? Are you obsessed? Have you created mastery? And we provide all of that for our agents. And permission to perform is really a culture of celebrated accountability. Now, when most people hear accountability, it's a heavy word.
yeah,
If you give it to a teenager or a new agent, accountability, it has a negative context or meaning. But in our world, it's celebrated, because everything we do is about the agent's goals. It's not about our goals. Our goals are different than the agent's goals. We're going to hit our goals no matter what. That's a whole nother webinar of how we formulate that system. We hit our goals no matter what, and it has nothing to do with our agent's performance. It's a numbers game, and we could get into those numbers at a later date. But we are a culture of celebrated accountability because we're reinforcing that this is about your dreams, your goals, your finances, your mindset, your emotional state. And then we build the accountability for them through mandatory meetings, mandatory trainings, one-on-ones that are impactful and meaningful, team meetings that are fun. I mean, I know this is insane to say, Zach, but like, you go to a team meeting and people walk out of there like, what the hell was I even there for? So we make a conscious and intentional decision to bring value, to have fun, to have incredible energy. And our people show up. 24 people on the team, 24 people at the team meeting, 24 people on the team. Get me on this one. 24 people at role play.
Oh, wow.
It's a standard. And that doesn't come from saying, oh, why doesn't people show up? If people aren't showing up, that's your fault. The value isn't there. The fun isn't there. The energy isn't there. And so we put intentional, conscious pieces in every single day so that they're celebrating their progress, that they're showing up, that they know their numbers. And it may seem heavy to throw in the word accountability, but human beings thrive on accountability. They thrive on it. Every amazing leader is held accountable by someone. And if you're not, you're missing opportunities. You just don't know that you're missing opportunities. We thrive in accountability. So that's the gift that we give our agents, is they get into our world and everything is a complete standard based on their goals and their production. And as soon as they get into our world, they're producing. We have a guy on our team, 5 weeks. He has 7 BBAs signed. He has 2 under contract, 5 weeks. We have Sherida, been with us 3 months. She's had 10 plus closings, 6 under contract right now. She's a boss. And I don't think most teams are equipped to handle people like her. But we understand her. We know her vision. We know what she wants. And we build an accountability plan specifically for her so that she has permission to perform and the right culture to thrive. And that is a foundation based on accountability.
I love it. Yeah, I think accountability, a lot of times, it's a long game. You gotta really take some time with it and just play it game day in, day out. And if you can make it through the initial pain that it can cause people, and you know what I'm saying, become it's like lifting weights, right? It becomes almost enjoyable, right?
I think it does become massively enjoyable, and you understand, you hit a tipping point and you're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. But accountability and discipline is never easy. That's why it's discipline. That's why it's accountability. If it were easy, everyone would do it. It's never going to be easy, and you're never going to hit a point of profitability and production where you're like, okay, it worked. It's going to be showing up every single day and doing those things that other people are not willing to do. But this is a gift to your team. It is an absolute gift, and your team will thrive on accountability if it becomes a 100% standard. And if they connect that with production, game over. You will have talented agents that will stay with you for a long time.
Yeah, because what's the inverse of accountability? right?
I don't nuts.
Yeah, it's chaos. It's feeling lethargic, lazy, not hitting numbers, knowing that you're failing. It's despair. It's everything you don't want, but that's so easy to fall into, right?
That's beautifully put, Zach, man. It's the opposite. It's that messy middle. It's that team that wants to be profitable, production, perform, but they're not connecting the dots. So it's lead gen, it's training, it's new systems, it's higher energy, bringing in outside speakers, but it's not built on the right foundation, which is accountability.
Yeah. So I want to talk about something that I know you're big on, and I've heard you do a couple big webinars on this, especially when the whole world was going crazy. But talk to us a little bit about certainty, gratitude, and some of those principles that allow me to, if I'm an agent, you're coaching me, you want to help me become more certain, you want to help me perform better at a day-to-day basis. What are you telling me?
Yeah, so I've studied mindset my entire life because honestly, I have a very negative mind. I do. It's just something, whatever. I'm not going to play the victim here, but that's the way my brain has been
I
wired.
actually didn't know that. I mean, I wouldn't know that, right? Obviously, you've trained it, but
Yeah. So this was built out of necessity. There was no other option for me. If I wanted to be successful, fulfilled, show up to my family, make money, I had to rewire my mind. And I know all of you have heard 80% mindset, 20% skill set. All of you have heard that. I'm actually a believer that it's 100% mindset, because if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to learn the skill set. You're not going to master your craft. And I studied this for 10 plus years with anybody that you could imagine, in Tony Robbins' world for 5 years. But there was a time when hearing it thousands and thousands and thousands of times where I had a moment where I'm like, oh my God, it's mindset. And now I can look at every single person on this planet, every single agent that comes into our world. I don't have to have a conversation with them. I already know what mindset they have by their energy, their body language, their eye contact, their tone, how they're dressed. I already know it. I don't need to hear your story or see your resume. I already know if you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And that's why every single person on our team has a growth mindset. This isn't about closing deals and success. And I've studied these books. In real estate, to be successful, you have to have a growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you're not going to last in our world. And that's the power of Hello Week. We'll find that out in 10 minutes. But that's our power, is we all have a growth mindset. Could we do more? Could we be more? Could we love more? Is there a better way? What could we do today? Could we be more proactive? We are growth mindseted culture. And man, and by the way, you can train a growth mindset. And if
that's
you
what
think,
I was going to ask. Is this something that you can train? And what are some things you do? Because you sit on a spectrum, right? It's not like you either have a growth mindset or you don't. It's how much of a growth or not growth mindset do you have, right?
Absolutely. So this meeting is not long enough, but the quickest way to tap into your growth mindset is through your state. It's through your body language. It's the way you move. It's your consistent emotions. So if you want to start developing a growth mindset, you have to develop the right state for that to live. And if you're stiff, if you don't have the right energy, if you're not hydrated, if your body language is off, you're never going to be able to tap into that abundant growth mindset. That is where I start with all of my agents, and I am the example first. Man, we attract who we are. If you guys want to take one thing away from me today as a leader, your growth mindset is not on point. You are not a good enough leader, and you are not attracting the right talent. This allows me to improve, reminding myself of that every day. Like, okay, what kind of leader was I today? Awesome. What kind of leader do I need to be tomorrow? Instantly, I'm tracking the growth mindset, because tomorrow I can show up as a better leader. Okay, if I don't have the right agents, that's not their fault. I attract who I am. I don't attract who I think I am. I don't attract who I want people to think I am on social media. I attract exactly who I am. So if I want a higher caliber of agent, a more talented agent, a growth mindseted agent, I better become that as a leader. So powerful questions like that. How can I be a better leader? How can I attract more talented agents? Who do I need to be to attract that kind of agent? Those answers will start coming into your world very quickly. Well, I need to learn this. I need to do this. I need to show up this way. I need to be mentored by this person. Who's doing it at a higher level than I'm doing it? How do I become a part of their world? All of these answers are there for you, but you're never going to access those answers in the wrong state. So if you want to start developing a stronger growth mindset, you need to start with your body, your physicality. And that's what's going to lead you to that next step of developing this.
I love it, Justin. I did have a question coming here on the chat. Where can we follow you on social media, Justin?
Yeah, so Justin Nelson Meta. So we have a coaching company as well called Meta U. We're laying that out for coaches, for leaders, for team owners. I know this is a very short conversation, but there are 10 essential components to creating a massively profitable team. And when I talk about profit, I'm talking about time, love, fulfillment, money. It's the fortune. Spring and I are not in this for the fame. We are 100% in it for the fortune. And the fortune is not in having a messy team. The fortune is having a dialed in systematic way to get agents into production. And that's why we love Sisu. It takes our vision and it makes it tangible. We can dive into every aspect of our business, color coded on a dashboard, and we can improve it because we're tracking it. But this is what's opened up our team, our world, our mindset, is because everything is real now. We move from a fantasy of profit into a reality of profit because now we actually can see our world and we can improve upon that world. Sisu has been an absolute game changer for our business, but also our life, because it's allowed us to create other businesses, because our real estate team is that fuel. But if we didn't have that dialed in, man, we would never have the freedom or the profit or the fortune to create other worlds. Sisu is our foundation, and it is a 100% standard. So the reason I say this, I've seen other teams use Sisu, and it's a 50-50 standard. It's track your numbers, and then there will be some coaching opportunities. In our world, it's a 100% standard. And the reason for that is Spring and I have a 100% belief in Sisu. So if you tell your agents it's a standard, we're going to create this amazing business, we're going to move you from an agent into a business owner, but your belief is not there, it's not going to be congruent. So it has to be a standard, but it also has to be a belief. It has to be an internal belief that this is what our agents need and this is what we need as business owners.
People don't know this. There's a book that is so popular, 4 Disciplines of Execution. It's been brought up so many times here. And Sisu is 4DX. It is wildly important goals, acting on lead measures. It's a compelling scoreboard. It looks great. And it's that cadence of accountability, right? 4DX is, we were talking to one of Tom Ferry's coaches. That is the way to train. And that's the way that Tom Ferry trains 4DX. Sisu is 4DX, right?
I love that you said compelling.
Buy in, right?
I love that you said compelling, man, because you can compare your month over last month, your year over last year. You can see the graphs and you can celebrate this. But also you can see a downward trend immediately and you can pivot. It just brings so much empowerment into your world, man. So it's a blessing in our life. So I talk about mindset. I talk about our amazing trainings, our high energy, but none of that exists if we don't have clarity. And if the only thing that an agent is attracted to is the leadership model, and please hear me on that, the only thing that an agent is attracted to is the leadership model, leaders have vision. And if you don't have clarity in your world, how everything works and where you're going to be a month from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, then you're not going to be the leader that they're attracted to. Become that leader. And the first thing that a leader has is a vision.
I love it, Justin. Well, we're running up on time here. I dropped your social there in the chat. Sounds like you're doing this coaching, which will be amazing. I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear that. Anything else you want to leave? What kind of homework? What's one thing I can go and I should go do today that's going to help me act on some of this?
Okay, I'm going to do this in, how long do I have? And I'll do it in that long. Do I have 60 seconds?
You got time. Go for it.
Okay, I would just ask yourself questions in 5 key areas. This is the foundation of our business. So gut check time, 100% honesty. Do you, scale 1 to 10, have a compelling vision for the future? Is it dialed in? Is it clear? Do your agents know that vision? Can they feel that vision? Are you living that vision? Let's go beyond creating a cool business and become a visionary. If you were to score yourself, no one else was going to see this score. Scale 1 to 10. How compelling is your vision for the future? And if you allowed your agents to buy into that? 1 through 10, gut check time. If you just start there, man, you can figure out the rest. But without that, it's all going to be very hazy. Number 2, man, is do you have the discipline? Are you giving your agents permission to perform with the right actions? If you were to look at your daily schedule, your monthly schedule, your training, everything that you do for your agents, is your accountability and your discipline on point? Have you built this well-oiled machine for them to thrive? Scale 1 to 10, give yourself a score. Number 3, are you obsessed with getting better? I'm not asking you, are you amazing at your job? Are you an amazing leader? That's not what I'm asking. If you're on this call, you most likely are. But number 3, are you obsessed with getting better? Good example is we attract massive talent. Spring, our leader, is developing her 90-year plan.
90.
So let me just can I just throw that in your lap? She's developing her 90-year plan. That's obsession with getting better. That's obsession. Not, hey, I went to a seminar and I'm reading this book and I'm going to try this thing about culture. Are you obsessed with getting better? And if you are, you will attract amazing talent into your world. Number 4 is, are you on your way to mastery? And we have 10 essential components: accountability, training, Sisu, tracking. Have you really mastered the essential areas of your business? Scale 1 to 10. I know that's very vague, but are you on your way to mastering your business so that you can create the freedom, the joy, and the profit? And then number 5 is what we call the real business, or the real you. We love to ask powerful questions. What are your top 5 consistent emotions? Are you on a daily basis showing up as the real you, the real leader, the one without fear, the one that has discipline, the one that is inspiring, the one is the true leader? I gut check myself in these 5 key areas, and we believe this is the foundation to an incredible, profitable team. Number 1 is vision. Number 2 is discipline. Number 3 is obsession. Number 4 is mastery. And what that all leads to is you being the real energy, the real business owner that we all sought out to be in the beginning. So ask yourself some questions in those 5 key areas, and then develop a specific growth plan in each of those areas. Not a general growth plan. General growth is weak. Specific growth plan in each of those areas. And a month from now, your business will be more profitable.
Justin, you're the man. Thank you for hopping on. You're that X factor. You bring that energy, and we love that about you. I think a lot of people on this call are either thinking or going to be thinking, man, I'm going to go get myself a Justin, or I better figure out how to become the Justin, because I want to bring a little bit of that into my team or into my brokerage. So thanks for hopping on. Drop your social there.
I love Sisu. 100% standard.
100%. Let's go. Thanks, Justin.